German border. And we always say he must have fired the first shot that started the war. But he was the only one that got a German down in the beginning. But the Polish army disintegrated, and he made his way. He was on his way back to Lublin when he heard that his whole family was taken to Treblinka, and he made his way to Vilna, where he took over and became the director of the Lubavitcher Yeshiva in exile in Vilna at that time. And from that day on, in 1939, he was a member of the executive committee of the World Lubavitcher Yeshivas, to which he gave from 1939 until his passing. He was involved in the administration and in the leadership position of the Lubavitcher Yeshivas worldwide. He came on a Sugiyara visa to Shanghai, Kobe, first to Kobe, then to Shanghai, and he was one of 39 students who came over on the last boat. 9 Lubavitcher students. There was a Polish government in exile that got 300 visas to Canada, and he got one of the 9 visas the previous Rebbe chose him and he came to Canada in 1941, until in 1945 the previous Rebbe brought him to America, where he was appointed to the administration of the yeshiva again, and my father lived his life, a life of true virtue. When we were children, he would wake us up at 5:45 in the morning, myself and my brother, and by 6:05, 6:10, we had to be ready, dressed and ready to sit down to learn with him an hour before we went to daven. We used to go to daven at 7:30, so leave the house at 7:20, and he never was demanding. I don't remember my father ever raising his voice to any of us. But if we were in bed, when he came by, he would prepare coffee or cocoa for us. And if we were in bed, he would not say, why did you want to get up? Why did you want to learn? He had few choice. He said it in a very soft tone. You want to sleep, sleep. That was it. That was all that we needed to get us out of bed. Within 5 minutes, we were sitting by the Gemara, and this went on in my life from when I was about 9 years old till I was 14. My father learned through the Talmud 5-6 times that we know of, and he used to learn every day a different Chassidic Sikha of the Rebbe, and every mimer that came out. Aside from that, he was a very honest individual. My father left over, and this wasn't the first time that he did it, but in his last will, he left over a sum of money. And he worked in the yeshiva all the years, and he used to have a pushka on this table that if he ever made a telephone call or anything, he would put money into the pushka. But he left over a substantial sum of money to give to the yeshiva, that if, God forbid, he ever used an envelope or a postage stamp or drank a coffee, and he didn't pay for it, that he wanted to make sure that he never benefited from the yeshiva 1 cent that was not part of his salary. And my father was a prolific teacher, and he was a loving father and grandfather and great-grandfather. In fact, we're thinking, I told Barb we don't know what to call him really. His name was Yosef, he was called Herschel, but all of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren used to call him Zaidi Lali, because he used to give out lollipops. So I don't know if they're going to call him Lali or not, but that was the name that all the grandchildren knew him by. So he was a God-fearing Jew and a very, very special Jew, and I want to wish Tzvi Yosef, my new grandchild, Zakat and Gadol Yeh, that he should, just like my father, seem assumed very, very modestly, never demanded anything, never pushed himself to want to be in the forefront, but carried all the burdens. He carried all the burdens, and he shied away from any publicity. I go in his footsteps, as you can see. But he shied away from all publicity and from everything, and he was a very, very special chassid of the Rebbe. He merited many, many chiruvim. The Rebbe was very, very generous and kind to him. worried about him on a daily basis, pulled him out of many sicknesses, and stood by his side on many, many occasions that he should be a healthy baby, a true chassid, a Yerushalayim, a God-fearing Jew, and a scholar. At this moment, I also want to wish a hearty mazel tov to my mechatonim in Eretz Yisrael, Baruch's parents, Rabbi Moshe and Greenberg, special people who had real self-sacrifice for Yiddishkeit in Russia. My mechutin sat in jail for many, many years just because he wanted to spread Torah Yiddishkeit. He wrote a machzor in jail that he should have what to pray on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur from, and his stories are very legendary. May he live and be well, and may there only be simchas in his family, and may he merit to have a lot of nachas from this grandchild and from all his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. As you know, Baruch is on the 15th of 17 children, so Baruch, you still have another 13 to go.
Amen.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.